this shit up. This is getting for what you us TV. Look at this. His own people supporting his death. They trying to put us in this, and we ain't. There's black people mourning this. I felt bad.
You support Charlie Kirk being killed? Yes, I do.
I don't. I think he has his own opinion, and he entitled to it.
No, I don't support a Nazi. Charlie Kirk wasn't a Nazi. You support a shooter? You support Charlie
I don't support nobody getting killed mindlessly. I don't care about your views. I'm not that invested. He would kill him himself, he said. That's crazy.
You have a job here in Seattle?
He trying to get him fired for that. That's why he asked him. That's why he asked him. If y'all didn't understand why he asked him that.
That was full of bravery and courage.
This was the Marine that saved.
Let me show you just how strong the white supremacy propaganda machine is. Do any of y'all remember this movie, World Trade Center?
Y'all crazy. When I say the kind of crazy white people are, I'm sorry, baby. Something wrong with y'all. I try to not. And when you start hearing this, I'll be like, something wrong.
Actual events that happened that day.
Something is wrong with y'all real bad, baby. And I think the type of help y'all need, I don't think can't nobody help it. I'm sorry. I'm starting to believe that y'all unhelpable.
Center buildings collapsing. And that Marine was very brave and valiant. He was an American hero.
Why would you do something like that?
Center, this is who they had to play the Marine.
But why would y'all do something like that and undermine somebody's achievement?
This is
his fine ass
Marine that was full of bravery and courage, that saved countless lives, that pulled people out of the wreckage and rubble. An American hero. But somehow Hollywood thought that it was best to portray this American hero.
But this only proves. This only proves what people say about y'all stealing black achievements.
Who black people are.
Right.
When black people are brave and valiant. When black people make inventions. When black people build an entire nation for you.
Right.
You lie about who they are. And you give those credits to
white people. But then how do you have a white superiority on stolen history? Do you know that you are literally telling me, if you are taking my history and making it great and saying that okay, so if you're going white power, white superiority, and you're using history, right? You're using the history and achievements, and you're saying these historical achievements are the reason why white people are superior. And the history that you're using that is supposed to make white people superior belongs to black people. You are literally admitting that we're superior. You know that, right? And could that be the reason why you kill us so much? Because you know this history is stolen, right? So any of these kingdoms, nations, achievement, innovation, achievements in innovation all belong to black folk. And you then put a white face on it. How is that white superiority? And you literally stole somebody else's stuff. I didn't know thieves were superior. I mean, I didn't know it was a superior thing to be a thief. I'm just saying.
Murder of a conservative.
Say this again.
This is why nobody trusts white people.
Right.
Okay. The murder of a conservative political figure who does nothing but spew hatred all the time is not a measurement for where America is as a country. Not in the way that you mean it when you say shit like that. There is nothing uniquely horrible about this murder. But white death demands that the world stops.
Right. White
death demands that suddenly everyone finds their humanity. White death demands that suddenly everyone has to think about what values they hold and how they are complicit. That is what white death demands of people.
Right.
Or that is what white people demand of everybody else when a white person dies.
Right.
It does not matter who that white person is or what they stand for or who they hurt in their life.
I'll give you a prime example. No matter what people say, people try to humanize Hitler. I done seen so many documentaries about Hitler where it's straight up humanizing him. Nobody's going off and saying, yo, this nigga was evil. What he did was evil. I don't care what his hue or complexion is. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I wasn't there. I wasn't a part. What I'm saying is there are people who will humanize somebody just because they're white. I remember when the DC sniper, that black man who was actually a sniper, when they thought he was white, what they said about him: look at this cunning artifices and his artillery, whatever, and how his precision shooting, and how he's a artifices genius, the way he has such precision. They called this nigga a nigga that was killing people at random. They called the nigga a genius because he was white. It wasn't till they realized, oh, this a nigga, that he became a thug. Then they went on the only type of, well, what happened? Is a white man that shoot at random not a thug? They tried to make us have understanding when Jeffrey Dahmer was raping and eating men. They tried to, his movie was about humanizing him. They even changed some of the stuff to make him more let's get into his mind. He's really just a decent person. The nigga was a nut. That white man was crazy. Out his rabbit ass mind. He was a thug.
And sympathy and compassion from the thousands of people.
Ain't that crazy? Sorry, y'all.
And that is why nobody trusts white. Why is also normal is worth more than hundreds, millions of other people's lives. That is not my opinion.
That's what
that is the truth,
right,
of the world we live in.
Right.
It is so incredibly violent to have a person like that be murdered and then demand sympathy and compassion from the thousands.
I think that anybody's death demands
and the fact
empathy.
that you cannot understand that.
Nobody should be celebrating somebody's death. I don't care what nobody says.
The audacity to demand compassion and empathy and understanding from the thousands of people that are hurt by him and people like him.
His words can't.
Whose rights are taken.
All right, people who write I feel like it only hurts when your opinion, somebody's opinion don't mean nothing. You can't make nobody's opinion matter that much. The only time your opinion matter is when it has the ability to affect other people's lives, which a lot of white people do, right? Donald Trump, when he went out and made you the president of the United States, when you made that speech about black people, never once did you think that was wrong? No? It never crossed your mind that when you are trying to get these people to believe that white little boys and girls are dangerous, that you would be literally waging war against these children, men, women, and children who aren't bothering anybody, to get white people to start killing us at random so you can get your remaining provisions prevailing from the 1850s, 1860s Reconstruction era. So that all this truth coming out about black people being American Indian could be suppressed and you can continue to squat on our land and not pay us for all that you stole. But I digress.
That he hurt in his lifetime. And the fact that you cannot understand that is why nobody trusts white people.
This is true.
The audacity to demand compassion and empathy and understanding from the thousands of people that are hurt by him and people like him, people whose rights are taken away,
right,
people who live with real actual danger in their everyday lives, right, because of people like him, to demand
because police brutality is a thing. And I don't care whether George Floyd had tons of drugs in his heart, in his system. Get off his fucking neck. Let him die of the overdose without your participation. Maybe you should have do what you do and got him some Narcan instead of choking him to death if you found that he's on drugs. Why wasn't that a thought? Why wasn't giving him some type of medical assistance a thought? It was just a counterfeit $20 bill. Let him do his due process. He would have got a shoplift class. Or went back to jail. Whichever one, that should have just been it. So no matter how you cut that, they didn't have to do it.
His lifetime. And the fact that you cannot understand that is why nobody trusts white people. The audacity to demand compassion and empathy and understanding from the thousands of people that are hurt by him and people like him, people whose rights are taken away, people who live with real actual danger in their everyday lives because of people like him.
And their
to
bias.
Demand humanity from them when people like him are murdered.
And we still give it to him.
Insane. You have no backbone. You have no political understanding. You have no social awareness. You are insane. And taking the moral high ground is fucking rich. Not because I'm celebrating this man's murder. I wish the world were a different place where shit like this didn't happen. Unfortunately, I'm very plugged into the reality of the world. I am not as socially unaware as you. But the idea that you hold some sort of moral high ground because you do not understand what it is to be oppressed, and you do not understand what it is to live under the shoe of people like that.
Right.
So you think you can claim some moral high ground because you are indignant due to a white death? It's fucking disgusting. You are disgusting.
And
this is why nobody trusts white people.
Man, she talking to her own people. Do you hear me? This not from the lips of my brown skin ass. This from her. And she letting y'all know what she think. I told y'all. Your own people don't agree with you and don't like you. I'm just saying, when you have a kind of mentality, nobody gonna like that. Nobody.
Black people ain't never hung nobody from trees.
Right. This is the set I'm saying. Look at Ari Spears saying this. He's been saying the same thing that I've been saying.
White people, you guys have been the most dangerous motherfuckers on the planet. You wiped out the Indians.
No, you didn't.
Niggas.
You just changed our shit.
For 400 years.
No, you didn't.
Beat by the judicial system.
That's a lie. They only been oppressing us for the past almost 200 to 300 years. It ain't been that long. It was literally after Reconstruction.
The most dangerous motherfuckers on the planet. You wiped out the in 3 years. We get beat by the judicial system. We get beat and killed by the cops. Cam Newton is a thug, but yet you've seen videos of him giving shoes and things away to people in wheelchairs. And he's got a great smile, the most least non-threatening dude ever. When it comes to that stigma, the black people are to be feared. That is the biggest hypocrisy on the planet.
Right.
Historically, y'all have been the most dangerous motherfuckers on the planet.
I'm telling you.
Black people ain't never hung nobody from trees.
Nope.
Ain't never shot nobody with water hoses.
Nope.
Ain't never sick dogs on them.
Nope.
Ain't never don't screw white people through the judicial system.
Nope.
Ain't never raped, murdered, and pillaged.
Nope.
Come on, man.
And I'll give you one better. White people can't name. I'm going to say it like this, and I said this in before. Everywhere white people have gone, every country they've gone to, the common denominator is white people fighting against white folk. Common denominator, all the time. White people went to Africa, apartheid. White people went to Australia, committed genocide of the Tasmanians. Robbed and pillaged, enslaved, kicked heads off Aboriginal babies, dig trenches, lined up infants, and kicked the head off Aboriginal babies. And to this day, Aboriginals are not really allowed to even say they're Aboriginals because they say it's offensive on their own land. White people dropped a bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, minding somebody else's business. White people went and sprayed what that stuff is, that something orange on Vietnam, and Vietnam people ain't did nothing to white folk, didn't bother them. Sent a whole bunch of army over there to bother these folk. Went over there to Iraq, bombing these people who had nothing to do with 9/11, bombing civilians, killing a whole bunch of people, men, women, and children. They came over here in America. Robbed, pillaged, stole, killed, and murder and lynch as a whole black people in America. Changed their nationality. Everywhere white people been, death, carnage, and destruction. Displacement, murder, death, destruction, murder, more death. The ozone layer, the water supply, the food bring death, destruction, death. Vaccines that's supposed to heal bring death. Death. Can somebody name a group of people as a whole, not anecdotal experience? Can anybody name a group or other race that has ever as a whole went up against and oppressed and did white people bad, where they were pillaged? Because white people did each other dirty in the Soviet Union. Okay? I'm just putting it out there. Can anybody name any race of people as a whole who went and robbed, pillaged, killed, and murdered white folk on the globe? I'll wait. Somebody in the back got something. Somebody tell me. Where have white people not gone and destroyed something? Killed people, left people without, created poverty, stole resources, and then murdered the people they stole from? Where have you not been and caused chaos? I don't care what your religious background is. When I say white, I mean white. Where have you been that you have not caused death and destruction? I'll wait. Because it seems like everywhere you go, death follows. Famine, drought, war follows you everywhere you go. Missing children, rape, murder, homicide, suicide, transgender homosexuality, political unrest, rights being lost, inhumane treatment. Everywhere you go, somebody has to fight against you for their own basic human rights. And yet you call everybody else violent. There was a white person that asked, why is it that when black people build a town, it's considered empowerment, but when white people could build a town, it's not considered empowerment? Because if you historically look back, black people had communities that were bustling and white people burned them down. When white people decide to make a community, it has nothing to do with somebody oppressing them. It is them wanting to live in isolation so that they can oppress other people based on keeping ideologies that will keep them in their prejudice. That's the difference. That when white people separate and go into these white towns, it's so that they can falsify white superiority while dehumanizing everybody else, giving themselves reason to go torture, kill, rape, and pillage and rob other folk. While black people, right, we just wanted human rights. We just want to be able to not get pulled over by cops and get hurt. We just want to be able to go into stores and not be walked around because somebody believes we stealing. We just want people to not shoot our kids in school and beat them up. We just want to go to the doctors and actually get properly diagnosed and not have them kill us during childbirth and pull the heads and break the necks of our baby, giving them cerebral palsy or autism or Down syndrome. We just want to be able to get vaccines without having some type of genetic disease. We just want to live in our community without them poisoning our minds and water supply. I mean, the list is endless. This is why getting away from you is empowerment for us, and it's not for you. Because we're trying to get away from you. Because you oppress us, but nobody's oppressing you. That's why. But somehow you're going to find what I'm saying racism. This is Kendra with Trustee. Love, stay, put God first above all else. Peace out. Bye for now.